Hi, good evening. I'd like to welcome you to Palm Praise 2. I do thank you for tuning in, and peace and blessings be upon you and your family this evening. Now, we are going to get right back into the Black Man's Guide to Understanding the Black Woman. Right now, we are in Chapter 4, which is entitled The Wedding, the Beginning. And this is take 1 of Chapter 4. It goes like this. Who can forget the beginning? That wonderful start-up time referred to as the courtship and going together. This is a period when the Black woman is most cooperative and manageable. It's that wonderful and glorious state when tender loving attraction is at its peak. During this time, the Black man and the Black woman cannot stay apart. It is too painful to be away from each other for an extended period of time. Every touch is magic and every glance ecstasy. And the delicious exploration of sex is brand new. Spine-tingling excitement. Overwhelming enjoyment. How could it ever end? The fondling, the anticipation, the perpetuating desire of new love. The Black woman stares into the admiring eyes of the Black man and reflects his loving gaze with worshiping innocence. Her eyes give the temporary and false promise that she will always remain in submission and feel lucky to have her man's love. She is agreeable, complimentary, affectionate, and giving. Nothing is too good for a man during this period. Life and love are sterling pure. Magnetic attraction is in the force, and neither side is able to withstand the pull because they created it. More lies are told during this stage than will ever be told again. The Black woman spares no expense or energy to convince the Black man that she is the mate for him. Naturally, he believes her because he wants to. She makes him feel like a king. She is alluring and soothing. During a lengthy courtship, she is available and willing to try anything the Black man suggests. She is thoughtful in sending him cards or little love notes, taking time to do special little favors for him. His favorite meal, his favorite color, his favorite treatment, expressing using her favorite plot. Her flexible and happy behavior turns out to be a gross misrepresentation of how she really is. After the point when she feels confident, she has the man, she starts to take a kind of inventory. She memorizes and catalogs all of her man's little idiosyncrasies that she plans to change. She believes she'll be able to change the Black man by subtle prodding and sweet requests. Sometimes these changes are monumental rearrangements of his personality that he has had all of his life. Nevertheless, she thinks that he can change, and she does not doubt that she is the one to change him. The Black man knows nothing about this plan and believes that she accepts him as he is, just as he has accepted her. It may take quite a while for the initial passionate attraction to subside, and it's a fun-filled time of dating. Dinners, travels, calls, and uninhibited sexual play. The Black man thinks that her attentions and interests will last indefinitely. The Black woman knows that they will not. She weans him slowly using excuses and justifiable sounding explanations. When the black woman becomes busy with normal life activities, the first thing she gives up, eliminates, or sacrifices loving attention to the black man. She believes that after she gets him, he is expendable and adult and should understand when she has more pressing things to do. If anything has to be squeezed in, it's him. If anything has to be squeezed out, it's also him. Instead of his care being paramount, it becomes something the black woman does on the run. While in its natural occurrence for work, the house and the children to take up a certain amount of time, it's not a natural occurrence for the loving attention to the black man to stop. The time may become shorter to express it, but it should not become more infrequent. If the black woman develops giving attention to the black man as part of her daily living, it would preserve the thrill of the relationship and establish a closeness not always based on sexual intimacy. It's not that she necessarily takes him for granted, it's just that she does not place the right value on his presence. In some homes, he walks into the house and is completely ignored. He is often made to feel like an intruder in his own household, someone who is sometimes in the way of other things and people who are more important to the black woman than the black man. In younger women, the courtship may be altered a bit in the thematic arrangement. If she has ideas about having some female macho equality, she might start out from the beginning letting the black man know that she has no intentions of catering to his every whim or any of his whims. She doesn't think it's her responsibility, and she thinks that every man should do for himself like she does for herself. She has very prolific sounding explanations about why she feels the way she does. Take it or leave it. He should leave it. She does not feel that her attitude will have impact on the success of the relationship. She is just exercising her options and believes her choices to be minor and harmless. She is interested in having a black man, but not interested enough to put on a special act for him. Certainly no encores or repeated performances. The wedding ceremony. For the contemporary black woman, big, expensive, elaborate weddings are in. Their requirements are big ceremony, big church, big reception, big expensive weddings, big floral arrangements, big catered menu, big matching wardrobes for the attendants, and big honeymoon, big ego production, and big cash expenditures. But this is a black woman's shining hour. She is a center of attention, the star, and her wedding is the public symbol of her wonderful life waiting ahead. It is a glorious tribute to her big announcement that I got him. The black man cooperates and participates in all of his hoopla because he is prompted by both families and mostly because he wants to please his woman. She not only wants it, she demands it. Although his nature may tell him that this is too much money to spend, and publicly agreeing in front of several hundred witnesses that they are now married, sometimes $5,000 to $50,000 or more is spent on the wedding affair, and a lot of this money comes out of the black man's pocket. Gone are the days when the woman foots the bill for the entire wedding. The black woman is not concerned with the financial strain, will beg, borrow, and charge to produce this show. Later on, when viewing a videotape of this main event, it may be difficult for the black man to believe that his woman could orchestrate such a synchronized attraction, but now finds it impossible to get dinner on the table every night at a reasonable time. Sometimes a woman may look at the tape over and over again, remembering what she may describe as the most beautiful period of her life. Sometimes a man gets lost in the shuffle of the wedding plans and finds himself standing around trying to figure out his part in this. Usually several family fights and disagreements occur on both sides before the grand day takes place. They rumble. After the honeymoon, the couple returns home to start living out the black woman's dream of married life. She immediately takes on the rest of the job of trying to set her life in order. It is also at a time she completely relaxes and lets the black man know bit by bit that she expects him to carry his part of the load and make a few changes. Now that they are really married, now comes the real deal. Few black women cross the threshold of marriage without a carefully outlined mental plan of how she intends to change her man to suit her wishes. She sees marriage as a contract whereby she can be herself, the wrong self. She believes that the only way to maintain control of her life is to maintain control of her man. This control starts by trying to keep up with him, to know his whereabouts at all times. Often she asks questions about where he's been and then sneakily asks him the same question at another time to see if he'll give the same response. One of the worst mistakes a black man can make when living with a black woman is to start out telling her every step he takes when he's not with her. The first time she tricks him into answering, she will expect an explanation. An explanation. From then on, the reasons she uses to pry into his comings and goings are, got 6 of them. Number 1, I worry about you. You could at least call. You ask me where I go, 'cause I have a right to know I'm your wife, or I'm your woman. Number 4, somebody was looking for you. Number 5, so I'll know what's going on or what's happening. Number 6, 'cause I just want to know. Certainly, if the black man desires to inform the black woman of his whereabouts, he can do so. But the problem is trying to comply with her slanted curiosity, which is really interrogation. Is that the black man can never be sure of which point in the deposition he will give the wrong answer and put her in a mental hell that may last for days. Her questions represent distrust and insecurity. She spends a lot of time during her day thinking of ways to bust the black man. And she will worry over any unsettled details and could the atmosphere and suspicion and doubt, the two most baneful emotions in a relationship. Although she won't admit it, her position is that if you ain't with me, or a crowd of witnesses, then you must be doing something wrong. Or if you ain't with me, you must be with somebody else. Or how come you can tell me where you were? No, that didn't sound right. Let me repeat that. I didn't say that correctly. Here it is. How come you can't tell me where you were? She does not really believe that what she doesn't know can't hurt her. Everything hurts her. And she thinks it's the black man's fault. If the black woman could take a moment to be truthful and admit her fears and the root of her despair, she would have better communications with the black man. And honestly, is what she says she wants. But she only wants it from one side, his. I'm going to end that take right there. And our next take on Poem Praise 2, we're definitely going to finish up that section, the wedding ceremony. And then we're going to go into the ceremony for the next section here in chapter 4. So I want you to stay tuned to Poem Praise 2. That's going to be chapter 4, take 2, here on poem Praise To. Excuse me, I'm looking for a pencil. Let me take 2 of chapter 4. So I want you and your family to be blessed and have a wonderful rest of the evening, and peace be upon you and your family. Until I talk with you again, guess what? Later, y'all.